album Don't Wait Till Tomorrow, which is out now, and I'm very pleased to say that Yonaka are here. I've got all four of them. I've got Theresa and Alex and Rob and John. So well.
Yes, that was great. Well done.
I've got Theresa and Alex and Rob and George.
That's the one.
Yes. Good. I was testing myself there, testing my memory. So it's nice to see you. The last time we saw each other was at the Garage when you played our Great X-Pectations night, which was absolutely fantastic. But now the album has landed. You were here, dreams realised. And it's great to be able to play not the whole thing, but I'm going to play loads of tracks tonight get you to explain all about them. So when did you record the record?
We recorded and produced the record ourselves. And basically we did it all in January. So
January?
This January, yeah.
January 2019?
January 2019.
You recorded it all yourselves in January 2019? I can't believe that.
Yeah. And produced it all ourselves, and we were in the studio for like 16 hours a day. Like it was hard work, but it was so nice because we have completely all of the control. So we were like, we first started and we were like, okay, we're making progress, this is good. And then we got to the middle and I was like, we're never going to finish. And but then we did, and we just, we worked really hard on it and like absolutely love it. So all in January.
So the whole of January, just taken up with recording it. And then by February we had the first week of February mixing and mastering. I think that is really impressive.
Yeah.
Gosh,
especially
I'm amazed.
Yeah, well,
just because the interesting thing about the record is that it seems such a modern sounding album in terms of the way that you've combined your rock roots and the sound of pop as it is now, I think. And when I've been listening to it, I kind of assumed, there must be some producer who's able to marry these two things together so well. And, because that's an art in itself, isn't it? And also, because aspects remind me of, say, something like Charlie XCX or something like that, but married to the loud guitars and the rock that you all love. And that's quite a difficult thing to pull off, but you've pulled it off really, really well.
Thank you very much.
So where did you get all this production know-how?
Alex is like a real big, and I say this in the best way, nerd. But I say that in like a really complimentary way because he constantly is like reading about stuff and constantly looking up how to do stuff like YouTube all the time. And then I think you've been doing it.
Obsessed with it for the last few years.
Right, so in the last few years you've been glued to YouTube tutorials on how to
learn everything
run a mixing desk. And so the kind of mixing desk you were using, was it all through a laptop or did you...
Just all laptop, all in the box, we don't use any album.
So all in the box.
Yeah.
And so where did you record this then?
So we've got a little like lock up in Brighton, in a little basement, and
So we did all the production and bass and guitars there.
Recorded everything apart from drums.
That's at Metway.
And lead vocal.
We did.
At Metway.
Yeah.
And then we did everything else there, and then so Alex was constantly on this thing and we were all shouting at him all the time.
Right. But that's tricky because also you're staring at a small screen and it's hard for everybody to see it, and then you're just looking at waveform and I don't know, I think it might drive you insane, no?
Yeah, you kind of just get a bit lost in it sometimes. It can be difficult, but we kind of found we've recorded in some really big like posh studios before. And we've gotten better results just kind of doing it out. Yeah. I think just having that full control.
Right.
It's just been really beneficial for us.
Because you clearly have such a strong idea of what you want to sound like.
Yeah.
Which I guess is hard to communicate to somebody else.
Yep. And we've worked with some amazing producers before, but we've never had the complete control where it's our time. So we'll work for like 20 hours a day to get that exact sound that we want from that song. And when you're working for someone else, you're paying for their time, whereas we're like, this is us, so we're gonna work until it's in a place that we're like absolutely love it and feel really proud of it. And then also the way especially I talk to these guys, I'm not very good at describing things, so I'll just say colours or like smells or something, and I'd be like, it needs to be like this. And but I can't say that to another producer because they usually just get a bit angry at me and just be like, oh, what does that mean? But like you understand.
Learn to translate it.
Yeah. Well, which takes time. You have to build up that communication, don't you? And some people are able to do that with a producer, but again, it takes time to translate. Yellow, green.
Known each other for that long as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, because we know each other for a couple of years now. Well, nearly 9.
Eight,
9 years.
Yeah.
So maybe that has a beneficial thing for describing words.
Yeah. I'd like to. What kind of words? Say if I'm going to play Awake now.
It needs to be more Christmassy.
It needs to sound like it has
I always like see like of what I'm doing. Like this needs to sound like I'm driving on a motorbike down a street that no one else is on, and then they'll be like, yeah, okay, cool, and I'll be like, yeah, and okay, keep going, no, oh. No, okay, and then we'll find the sound. But I like see it like as an action, and that's because that's what I want people to see when they like listen to the music. So it's like that sound needs to be like what you would hear if you're watching like a video of someone like driving really fast or like smashing up a hotel or something like that, So yeah, I'll just say some random. I'd like sometimes be like more metallic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was recorded yesterday, but now.
Recorded yesterday. Brilliant. So if I play Awake next, how would you? What descriptions would you have given people to capture Awake?
To Awake. Oh, that's like because Awake is a song from that one of the first songs we ever wrote together. So it's really nice to have this on the album, but we've like spruced it up, so it's like it just feels like this kind of like it feels like sometimes it feels a bit clowny to me. Like there's clowns but like evil clowns chasing you. It's like but I just feel like this song is like really empowering, and it's like you waking up to like what's going on in your life and where you are at. So yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, we're going to hear it now. This is Yonaka. It is Awake on X-Posure, Radio X. It is Yonaka on X-Posure, Radio X with Awake from the new album, Don't Wait Till Tomorrow, the debut. It has landed, it is here, and the band are here also giving us a little insight into how it was all recorded in a kind of magical way, I think, in a lock-up in Brighton. And would you record your parts individually then? Would you have any live performance like as a group?
All individual.
Yeah. There was a point where I'd go down with Alex to record the guitars and like bought us a pair of pajamas each because we're
not going to leave for a long time.
We're going to be a candle down and some pajamas, and then had like a checklist off. And it was just, you think you've done so much and you're like, oh yeah, making real progress, and you turn the sheet over, you're like, oh no, so much to do. But it was
we tried playing all together before, but I feel like we've always got the best sound when we do it separately. Just because we feel like there's way more control. Like when
drums,
Rob does drums as well, like sometimes we record the cymbals completely separate to like all the toms and stuff, and it just means that we can just mess around with that sound so much more and just have more control. So
you can kind of process all the sounds a lot better as well, I found.
Yeah. So, I mean, would you approach the drums and then record individual drum parts, or would you play a song and then you can go back in afterwards and adjust the sounds?
It would be like I'd just go in and do full takes of just me playing, sometimes just kick and snare, sometimes with the toms and stuff in there, and then overdubbing cymbals afterwards.
I don't know how you do it. I find it so
weird to watch.
It would be really funny to watch. So we watch you through the windows, you're like.
Put like pillows where the cymbals were.
Right, so this is quite visual.
Exactly.
What Theresa's doing. It's really quite funny watching you do it. So it's silent, but at the same time you're kind of nodding your head and your arms are flailing about a bit and then stopping and then carrying on.
Odd hit.
I've got a really bad habit of like humming the melodies of the songs.
Really bad.
Humming's a very
that's it's more of a kind of a grunt. You just hear it like really quietly in the background. time when you compress the drums loads, and I
You
was
can
like,
probably hear it throughout the album if you
Yeah.
really listen.
Yeah, if you're really listening.
You can hear Rob's humming. That's interesting.
yeah.
But does that help you keep in time? Does that help you
Yeah.
get a sense of where you are in the song? Because I was
yeah, especially without being able to kind of like use like the full beat and like approach the kit as I would play live. It's kind of like a way that I can kind of keep focused on not playing, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. That's interesting. I was watching drummers over the weekend and seeing what they all do during a song, and some really sing every single word, and it's almost as if that helps them keep in place in the song and keep part of that, the emotional build up and breakdown of a song, and yet others have their own way of doing it as well. And it's quite personal, I think, isn't it? And it's interesting how as bands function, how they keep themselves where they need to be, because you're all doing different things. I mean, it's like 4 people all driving a car at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't know how you don't crash more often.
Yeah, we did a show in Holland like a month ago, and we were doing this song called Rockstar, and I got everyone like down on the floor for like the middle 8 breakdown bit, and I stopped singing because I was like, okay, everyone down, got everyone down, and I was like, because I was going to get everyone to jump, and then I was like, whoa, where am I? I was like, I don't know when I'm coming back in. And I looked at George, and I was like, George, what number? He's like, 1, 2.
I couldn't, but nothing come out my mouth. I thought I was counting it out, so I was like, then just a one stomp before the one back in, and
I just jumped up. I was like, and everyone jumped as well at the same time, so it was good. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's sometimes hard to like. Sometimes when you're totally into like the performance, I just get a bit lost, and I'm like, wait, am I even here for a second? And then I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
And it's like, because when you're just totally in that like particular performance, and it's a good feeling.
Yeah, that's really interesting. That's really honest of you to explain that, because I can easily see how that can happen. And also, it's tricky, isn't it? If you're controlling a crowd and you want them to spring back up in a minute, but at the same time, you've got to live through that and be in that moment. Yeah. But you're actually meant to also be thinking about what's going to happen and when they're going to spring up and how you're going to get them to spring up and how high they're going to jump, and you're kind of thinking about those kind of things. It's tricky business. There's much more to this Rockstar game than you think, and I might as well play Rockstar. I mean, Rockstar is interesting, isn't it? Because it's almost as if this is the ambition of the band.
Definitely.
This is what we want to be, and it's a difficult thing to maybe we've got to a point now where people can admit that now, because I definitely think there was a phase where you can't admit you want to be a rock
There
star.
definitely was, wasn't there? Like, what are you doing this for? Like, no, I don't really care. It's a bit of fun. I was always like, what? Are you kidding? I'm not doing that. I mean, I love it, but I want to go. I want to go up. Like, but yeah, people would always be like, yeah, it's okay. Just like making music, really.
Yeah.
And then you'd be like, okay, sure.
No, I want to be a rock. I guess, but then there are so many connotations to that.
That's
So there's so many different eras, of rock stardom and what that implies. But then I think the great thing is, because of the band that you are, and because of who you are, in a way you're kind of questioning that. Anyway, you're kind of saying we can define what a rock star is. This is the Yonaka version of a rock star.
Yeah.
Am I right in thinking that?
I like it.
That's the way I see it. Right, well, I'm going to play Rockstar, but it has these really amazing long vocal notes on it in one take.
I can hold my voice for a long time.
It's a real, how is she breathing? No. It's impressive. Have a listen out for that in the middle of this. This is Rockstar. It is Yonaka on X-Posure, Radio X. You are listening to X-Posure on Radio X. I'm John Kennedy, and that is Yonaka with Guilty for Your Love. It's a selection from the debut album, Don't Wait Till Tomorrow, which has just come out, and I have all 4 of Yonaka with me tonight, Rob and Alex and George and Theresa. And Guilty, I think, is one of the big pop moments, really. It's a good illustration of this thing I was talking about earlier, about that combination of pop and rock that you do. So it kind of starts off and it's pretty poppy and has, and then it's got these big kind of rock out bits on the choruses. So it's balancing that. So when you've been, I can understand how in the studio, you have an idea of what you're trying to achieve and you go for it. But when you first write that song, does it start more poppy, or does it, in my imagination, it's you all in a room making a lot of noise and then thinking, right, how can we change this? How can
no, not really. It just starts like
that was guitar. That one.
Yeah, that was mainly guitar driven,
and we never go for like a chorus or anything first. We kind of always try and find the verse first, actually, and then And that, when we wrote that song, we like were all like, wow, I think this is a really good song. And then I went through a stage of, once we recorded it and stuff, I went through a stage of like, I don't know, I felt like really like emotionally weird about that song, just like I don't know if I like this song anymore, I don't know if it's even good. And then recently again listening to the songs again, I totally fell in love with it, and now we, you know, it was, I don't know, for me that song has been a really weird roller coaster for me, but
that one actually, I remember the verse, and then we went like kind of almost Cure-ish with it when it had that like top line, dun dun dun.
Yeah.
You remember?
yeah.
And it was very much more dreamy, but yeah, it worked out really well.
Yeah. I mean, how many evolutions do you think these songs go through?
That song also was originally quite different, like not quite different, but there was like an extra bit on the end where like it was like a double chorus on the last bit, and I like it didn't really sing the chorus, I was just like wailing. So we tried like a few versions of it because, you know, we were like, okay, we want to get this song right, because when we first started, we were like, this is great. And then I think that might be, that song did go through a few versions before we got it right, and I think that might be why it kind of like took me through this thing where I was like, maybe it's...
Yeah, I can imagine taking away the magic if it's going to be like picked apart so many different ways.
But yeah,
It's interesting. I mean, and as self-producers, you have to be super critical of yourselves as well, which is quite hard. You know, it's hard to pull things apart and say, no, it's not there. No, we're going to drop that whole section.
Yeah.
You know, that's it's especially when you've been, say, playing it for you know, a year.
Yeah, it's so hard to look at it objectively if you're just so lost inside of it. It's sometimes hard to just take a step back and see.
Were there any other outside voices chipping in?
Oh yeah, so obviously you've got the label and the management, but to be honest, they were quite good. They just left us to our own devices. But obviously, like, you know, when they hear a song, that's like their job. So they like to like be like, oh, can we try this? Can we try this? And you know, sometimes we try it and it's good, and then sometimes we're just like, no, because we don't want to do that, because that's not how we vision the song, and they're just usually quite cool about it. So obviously everyone wants to like say their bit, but yeah, we kind of just do what
really
feels
gave
the
us
most passionate.
Free rein on this.
Yeah, they're really good.
To do.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And so, and in terms of this sound, no, so if as examples of where you're coming from, so the pop stuff. Say if I mention Charlie XCX, who are the people that you hear on kind of top 40, top 10 radio that you turn up and listen to and like?
Oh, what, right now?
Yeah, or the last couple of years, you know.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a lot of that in there,
Definitely.
which is why...
I mean, I love pop, like, massively.
Billie Eilish.
Billie Eilish is like amazing. Yeah. Then you've got, there's so much, I think there's so much good music right now, it's insane. And
Pilots, you know, like they've got that good balance between like the real like pop sensibility and like the whole band like sound and vibe.
The new Bring Me the Horizon album as well is like a part of the future. I feel like they've like tackled that before it's even happened.
Yeah.
And like when I listened to that, I was like, this is so good.
So good.
And yet it's interesting, just because you know they've changed in so many ways. You know, you think, oh my god, you know.
But I feel like boundaries are being pushed a lot more in the pop world than the kind of conventional rock
completely
world. It seems like people are trying to experiment and do new things within that.
I find that people get quite, like, just from talking to people sometimes, and just I feel like people get quite annoyed if like rock is not rock. And it's just like, come on, we're like, this is like post genre now. It's just like you've got to just like, I don't know, like if you do the same thing, you've already heard it like 10 million times before. Like you've got to be fresh and think of new stuff, and I think pop is definitely doing that more now. But I feel like, you know, you rock heads, they're like, if it ain't rock, it ain't like, they won't listen to it.
Kind of purists.
Yeah. Which sometimes is good because you're like, okay, you're very loyal. You know, for people who don't want to sound like what's already been out like 10 million times before, then it's quite, you know, it's trying to find your audience and stuff. But
because pop's in that almost it definitely is in the post genre bit where there's some really heavy parts on like pop music at the moment as well. You don't even realise, but like, that's just because it's so cool and so like new. You don't really give it. You don't really give it.
Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, since there are all these elements. So you have elements of pop, and you've got elements of dance where the drop comes in.
Yeah.
But you've also got all these great riffs and the kind of heaviness that comes with rock, and you kind of use all these different tools to wow the audience. I think in a way, it's quite interesting how you've put it all together. It's quite it's a clever skill, I think, to be able to do that, to get that balance right. I was thinking of playing "Don't Wait Till Tomorrow," the title track, because that has all these different elements in it too, doesn't it? And was this always going to be the title?
We knew that quite early on, actually. So when we went to record we went to write some of the music in September, and we've never been away outside of Brighton to write some music. So this is the first time we ever secluded ourselves away from other things. And we wrote "Don't Wait Till Tomorrow" there. We wrote "Creature." We wrote Punchbag. We wrote "Bad Company."
No.
And and then so in September we knew it was the title was going to be "Don't Wait Till Tomorrow."
Yeah.
Right.
Because lots of the songs have the same kind of message and meaning, so it felt like that was and I think when you just say "Don't Wait Till Tomorrow," you can apply it to so many things, and I think it's such a strong statement title. So yeah.
I mean, there is this sense of urgency to what Yonaka are about in all the songs. It's like, we're going to sort this out, and there's this situation where we're going to sort it out, and by the end of the song it's sorted, it's going to be brilliant. And "Don't Wait Till Tomorrow" is kind of like that.
Yeah.
No, don't wait.
Reaching out, Don't leave it. Don't leave it too late. Talk to someone.
Excellent. We're going to hear it now. Yonaka on X-Posure, Radio X. Don't Wait Till Tomorrow. It is Punchbag. It is Yonaka on X-Posure, Radio X. One of my favourites from their debut album, Don't Wait Till Tomorrow. The band are here. They're giving us a little bit of background into this. And Punchbag, I guess I lean towards the more rock side of things, and Punchbag fulfills my needs.
My racking needs.
I'm a sucker for things like, say, in Don't Wait Till Tomorrow, which we've heard just now, and you've got that line where you say, "I'll be there to fix you," and then the guitar kicks in, and I like that kind of statement and answer combination. And Punchbag's a bit similar in the sense that is Punchbag, I've got to hit back.
Yeah, exactly. Don't be somebody's punchbag.
Yeah.
Come on, you're better than that.
I know, it's quite useful having that in music. I don't know, that's one of the purposes of it, especially rock music, I think. You can punch the air and let things out, and not necessarily take them out on another human being. Because that does
into the air.
Yeah. So where does Punchbag fit into the story of the album?
Okay, so of making it.
Yeah, making it. Well, you mentioned that it was kind of created in that spell where you went away, left Brighton.
Yeah. That was created kind of, and then I had a total different vocal melody and lyric over it. Yeah. And we actually got the riff from that song because we were writing another song, and then that riff was coming as like a chorus, and we were like, no, this is too different. So make that as another song. Yeah. And then lyrically and vocally, I got the lyrically and melody. Sorry, is that right? Yeah, that's right. Got that in January.
Yeah.
So,
right.
As we were recording.
It was a completely different song, but it just didn't feel. It didn't feel right of what it was, and I was like, I didn't feel comfortable. I was like, I'm not being truthful with my lyrics here, and I don't feel amazing when I sing this song, but I feel like really good about the music, and so.
And did you get to try all of these songs out before you recorded in January?
No, actually.
No.
So we wrote The Cure, Wake Up.
Pretty much, yeah.
Guilty in the studio, in our studio. So that was after September, and there been a few more as well, but I can't remember.
Girl, the one that didn't make it, and stuff like that. There's a couple of others that didn't make it on the album, but because they didn't fit.
Yeah, but they might emerge at a later date, or not.
I don't think so.
No.
It's just, it's hard to say. No, not hard to say, sorry, but it was like ones that just weren't spending more time on, because the way we do stuff is like we just really get into a track if we know it's going somewhere, but like you've always said, we don't like loads of material and then just shift through like 50 ideas. We like to take our time and really invest in a song if we like really want to do it.
It's a song, if we're writing it, it's like, okay, we're in it, I mean, we feel really good about it, so we're like, yes, let's go. And we don't, like we said, don't write like 50 songs and pick 5 or whatever. We write like 5 songs and pick 4.
Yeah. That seems fair enough. How long do you reckon per song it takes?
Changes.
Yeah.
Oh, what, recording? Or?
Yeah, well, just capturing what you're trying to get.
I guess every song is
a bit of different shelf life. Really.
We did it like in a way where Rob did all the drums first.
Yeah.
So we did all that.
Like, what was that, like 4 or 5 days?
So this was the first week of January.
Yeah.
2019.
Yeah.
Rob spent a week
1st
doing
of January,
drums.
here we go. New Year's Eve, goodbye.
Then after drums, what did you do next?
Vocals,
Right.
lead vocal. Then
Guitars and bass.
and
then backing vocal, then all the production-y stuff. But so we would do that. So we got everything on there like as a basic, and then we worked each song by song or production-wise.
The Cure was actually one that we totally kind of reworked right towards the end.
No, we wrote that in January because we were like, we need another song.
Yeah.
So we wrote that like probably like last week of January.
Yeah.
And then recorded it. So that one was a bit like, because I was like, we need another song. Like, we need another song. And I was
Like writing it whilst we were recording it at the same
Yeah.
time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But it feels perfect as an ender as well, because it kind of like has this like big sum up like lyrically, and it can be like and everyone can relate to that. Like, you know, everyone's always looking for a cure of something. No, I'm not saying that for like illnesses and stuff. Well, kind of like mental illness and stuff like that. Like, you're always thinking like, what's going to make me better? But I don't think you ever really get completely better. You just learn to like deal with things and like learn to like keep it at bay. And like, look, Bad Company is like, I've learned to live with bad company because I realise I'm not just going to get rid of it. So yeah, The Cure feels really good at the end of the album.
Yeah.
It just sounds like a good ender as well, doesn't it? It feels like an end of album.
Yeah, interesting. And to think that it's the kind of newest song that you've written
Yeah.
and recorded. A nice way to round things up. And it's also a nice way to round things up tonight, I think. See, it's clever, isn't it? It's radio. So what's next? I mean, you've got lots of touring, lots of festivals, lots of European dates, going to the States.
Yes.
So just getting these songs out there. And now that the album is out, are all the songs going to be in the set?
Most of them.
Yeah.
Most of them, but we're going to still keep some of our...
because there's a lot of material already that's out there. You know, almost an album's worth of material already out there. I guess, you know, some of your fans, longer term fans would know and love and expect.
Exactly. So we want to keep some stuff. Like, not, to be honest, we'll probably play like a good 9 at least songs from the album.
It gets so hard to do set lists nowadays as well, like, with that in mind. Like,
So we love that song.
Yeah. It's a good position to be in.
Yeah.
no, completely,
Yeah, and obviously there are encores and other things. You know, if you keep them in match fit, then you can always just chuck them in.
Let's go.
So we look forward to seeing you on a stage somewhere soon, I
Yes,
think.
correct.
But thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
It's fascinating to learn how you've managed to do all this. It's fantastic. So I'm going to play The Cure now, and it will act as a cure for everything for us right now. This is Yonaka with The Cure on X-Posure Radio X.
Radio X.